Welcome back to Trading with Tootsie. Today we're just going to go over a go over of our trades of yesterday. So remember yesterday yesterday morning I posted two trades, two possible setups, one on one on silver and another one on copper. So I'm using an app called Notion. It's how I journal all my trades. Take a screenshot of every stage in the process, where I'm adding what I'm feeling throughout the process. I can type and make notes. So yeah, you guys will see as we go through this, all the cool features. This, unfortunately, you have to set up yourself. Um, when you download the app for the first time, you just have a blank thing. So if you guys would like a guide on how to do this and how to set this up as a trading journal, I can post a couple of links, or I can put a couple of links in the next video, or even in this video, um, in the description. And then yeah, but anyways, let's get into it. So let's start with silver. So type, as we can see, we traded on the live account. We've got evaluation, challenge, backtest, and live. So I told you guys I failed I breached, it's a better word. I breached the challenge phase of my 15K funded next account, but it's okay. With the payout from my account, I'm just gonna restart. That's the cool thing about funded next. You can restart the challenge. So we shall see. Trading pair. There's all my trading pairs that I trade, or I can trade. If I want to add more trading pairs, I just can add more. So XAG, USD, my time frame. So my main time frame I was looking at the chart on was the 4 hour to the 1 day. Okay. And then my strategy I used was my trend line zone strategy. Here's my three main ones that I use. I can use multiple, like you'll see in my copper trade. I used a combination of two strategies, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, screenshot if you must. For my breakout trend zone strategy, these are my confluences, my support and resistance bounce. These are my blah blah and blah blah. So anyways, we're going to be focusing on the trend line zone strategy. um I got a check for entry in an order block. Okay. uh, our direction is with the long-term trend. My entry zone is touched at least twice. All right, so by zone I mean the actual trend zone. And then I confirmed the direction on the 1 week and the 1 day time frames. All right, so you'll see here the date that I created this little journal entry was excuse me, it's 10th of April at 8:30 a.m. Okay, geez, it wasn't yesterday then. Sorry, I'm getting old, guys. So I actually then created this on the day before yesterday. Sorry, it's 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 time to get old. My memory's not good anymore. Okay, so we created the journal entry at 8:30 on the 10th, and we opened the trade opened on the 10th of April, same day at 11:30. Excuse me. So like 2 hours later, okay, or 3 hours later, whatever. I can't count right now. So you'll see here the risk has been adjusted to 3.4%. We started our trade at 0.5%. It should be down here at the notes. Okay, I didn't add all that. Okay, but we did start our trade at 0.5%. Okay, so initial entry over here. Let's open this up. There's this is what we were looking at to enter. So price was up there. We were waiting for a bounce. If price had to break below and hit our stop loss, we would have closed at a minus $50, a minus 0.5%. Not too bad. And then if trade had to hit full TP, which is at 34, which would take literally weeks, then that would have been I think it was a 1 to 5. I think it was a 1 to 5, something like that. So risking $50 to make 250. Okay, we obviously didn't. We adjusted our stop loss, we adjusted our entry, and we adjusted our take profit. all right? Because we didn't want to stay in this trade too long. Um, swing trading is awesome, but you need to hit the entry early in the month, and you need to leave it for the rest of the month, because we are trading on a prop firm. We can't leave it for months and months and months, unfortunately. Okay, so our state, we've got cancelled, waiting for setup, open, stop loss hit, take profit hit, or self close. So I selected self close because I self closed, and we were in profit. So I took my profit. Okay, intra trade action, and this is why we journal. You need to be so honest with yourself. Okay, so yes, I did move. I did add randomly. So I saw the market come down. Uh, it didn't come to where exactly I wanted it to add. So you know what? I added anyway. And that was great because it worked out in the end. Okay. And then eventually it did come back to an order block retest. OB retest, order block retest. So it came down, hit an order block, and then went off again. Created another order block, came back down to that order block again, entered again. So I entered quite a few times of this. Adding checklist, all right. So my size of each position was the same as the initial size. I entered at the retest of a breached order block, and yeah, order block, same thing essentially. And you'll see here I've got size larger than initial, size smaller than initial, stop loss same risk as initial, but it wasn't obviously because for this trade I did not move my stop loss. I kept it where it was, and that is why that's why I changed my risk to 3.4%, because we kept our stop loss exactly where it was, right? And then our P&L for silver was $394, okay, on the live account. So that is 3.94%. Our post-trade analysis, so let's have a look. I had a bit of trade exhaustion, unfortunately, and that's why I closed. Um, I added with order block retest. My TP was in an order block. My stop loss was in an order block. It was a very good thought out play out. I had a good clear mental state. I closed a little bit early. I added to my winning position, and it was a sniper entry. All right. So let us do this over here. I'm just going to show you something. I'm just going to close the door quickly. Whoa. It's a lot of movement. It's all that movement out there. A lot of movement outside. Okay. So this is our pre-entry chart, okay? And this was also pre-entry. We were looking at, this is why we entered, okay? So silver was in a trending up market. We created our box or our trend zone. Price in the zone, went up, came back, went up, came back, went up, came back, went up, came back, and was on its way up. Okay, so perfect time to enter. An even better time to enter would have been down here at this breakdown, but that would have been super risky. That would have been such a risky trade because it's breaking out of a zone. Okay, but as we can see, that was just a little fake out. Okay. Anyways, so let's have a look at the progress of this. So we entered down here and we were looking at an order block. This was just I was looking at this because price had tried to break above the zone multiple times for a couple of hours and it was struggling. So I told myself, okay, by the way, that little dip down there, that's where I added naughty boy. Okay, so excuse me. If I tell myself if price breaks above and comes back down to retest, I will enter, which it did. Okay, so next step, load. There we go. So that's just a little bit of a closer view. This line here, this blue line here, is where I put my buy limit. Okay, so I was busy at the time. I am at work, unfortunately. So I set a buy limit. If price had to break below the zone and touch it, it would have opened. Um, I think it did. I can't remember, or I'm not sure if I opened it myself. I mean, spreads are so insane. Price can literally hit 31 21 and not open. So I think I opened myself. I'm not too sure. And then you'll see here, I actually moved my take profit from 34. Let me go back from 34 to 31.98. Okay. So there we see price broke above and then broke below. Okay. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit scared. I was like, oh, but I just told myself, stick to the plan, stick, like, just trust. Um, Price came down, and that initial buy limit that I set, it hit. Cool, right? Hit the buy limit, and after that, as you can see, I said adding at demand breakout retest, and then okay, there's by the copper one. Oh, there we go. Hello, there. Cool. Added entry limit at the latest pick, which was probably there. And then I tell myself no more entries allowed after the entry limit hit. Risk increased from 1.6 to 3.4, TP adjusted, closer to the previous 1-day resistance, okay? And then self-closed just before TP, ended up smashing TP anyways, okay? So let's have a look. This was the trade that eventually played out. I closed at around about there, something like that. I think it was 3189 or something. So a little bit, just a little bit below. But we took profits, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, okay? Cool. This video is going on very long, sorry. Let's quickly run through copper because we all know, we've seen how my journaling thing works. Okay, live account, copper, 4 hour to 1 day. And you'll see here I used a combination of supply and resistance bounce with my trend line strategy. Okay, there's my checklist for my SNR bounce. There's my TLZ strategy. This journal was created on 12 o'clock, and a couple of minutes later the trade opened. Okay, my risk started at 0.5. We increased it to, I think it was 1.28 and then 1.92, something like that. Same story, self-close, but we took profit. Added to OB retest, added randomly. Same story like the previous trade. Our P&L was, so I closed the trade off quite late last night. I got home, I was tired. I was like, nah, I needed to cook, and I was like, come on, I just want to enjoy my night. So we closed off at 6 p.m. Last night with a profit of 325 USD. Okay, again, trade exhaustion, added TP, blah 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 blah. Okay, so pre-entering, that's what the chart looked like pre-entry. Okay, supply and resistance bounce counts as this big thing over here. Okay, this is a weekly resistance zone. So copper broke in, broke down, broke up again through it, and came to retest. Okay, while it came to retest, it was busy respecting its trend line zone, its recent trend line zone that it created. So we got a support and resistance bounce as well as a trend line zone bounce. Okay, so there's my two strategies in play. Let's open up the next one. I just drew this over here, another trend line, because price was bouncing, and I tell myself, if price can break above and retest, we entering. Okay, so let's have a look at the next slide. Come on, price broke above. Okay, so that little arrow just indicates price has broken above. Okay, now we have our entry limit just inside the box. Okay, just waiting for that retest. Okay, let's see what price did. Whoop, price started coming down. I also added another entry over there. Okay, I can't remember. I think I might have self-added down there. Naughty boy again. All right. Yeah. So that tick means we did get our retest. So which means price broke above, came back in. This is a 30-minute. Let me go back to that other one. I think that was a different. Oh, this was a 30-minute. But you see there, price broke above, and then in that slide, price came back in, retest, took my entry, and then exploded. Okay, and then we decided to close up over there because price just started like climbing like crazy. And I don't like when there's so much momentum in the market. It can lead to a bit of people trying to sell, trying to find a peak. And that's where we closed, at that little red arrow over there. Yeah, there's all of my chatting to myself, blah 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 blah. You guys can pause and read that. And those are my trades for yesterday. So in my TikTok video, I've also made a little this video, but in a very shorter format, on TikTok. Essentially, my account was 1.7% in profit. We've got a 10K account, so you guys can calculate that's $170 in profit. And I told myself, this month, at the beginning of this month, I said, I need $500. I need 5%. I need to make 5% of the account, and that's where I'm going to stop. As these trades are running, we closed off on 8.8% profit on the account, so $888. Okay, that's before getting my 80% profit split. So all in all, it's a good month. My greed was telling me, hold on, hold on, hold on to the trade. Wait till 1,000, because you're looking at that 10%. You're looking at that round number, $1,000, 10%. So my brain was like, hold on, hold on, hold on. It's almost there, and I just decided, no, we are 8.8%, almost 9% in profit. Why be greedy? That's the trap we all fall in. Why be greedy? Close your profits, take your profits home, and live your life. So right now, I'm done trading for the month. I've adjusted my payout date to the 15th, which is on Tuesday. Today is Saturday. So on Tuesday, they will be processing my profit split, and I'm done trading for the month. I'm finished. Then they're gonna issue me a new account, and then probably a week or two after that, maybe not at all. Depends on when the market gives me nice opportunities to trade. So remember, take your profits, cut your losses short, let your profits run, but not too long. Don't be too greedy. And yeah, on to the next one. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Have a like a weekend.